Greetings and salivations, everyone. I'm Krista, this is Fisher, and welcome to C-Rad. Today we're going to show you how to put the head and hands on a body by Little Green Jelly Beans by CSF. So stay tuned.
C-Rad.
Hi, everybody! Well, hello, everyone. Welcome. We hope everyone's doing totally rad today. I came home from work the other day to a surprise in the mail from Shana of Little Green Jelly Beans by CSF, or as you know her on Etsy, LilGreenBeansbyCSF. And inside the box was not one, but two bodies, guys. So today we're going to start with body number 1, which is her beanbag replacement body. And I'm going to take one of my Grogu dolls, we're going to take the head and hands off of it, and we are going to put them on this body, and then we'll compare it to how this body looks next to the factory beanbag body. So yes, I said there were two bodies. The second one, you're just going to have to wait for another video for that, because that one's a little bit more detailed, but believe me, you're not going to want to miss that one either, because that second body is just as fabulous as this one. So Fisher, I'm going to set you to the side. Are you good with that, little dude?
I'm good with that.
Alright, little man. Boop. We will see you in a little bit. So this replacement body is it's an upgraded version of the beanbag body that comes with the Mattel Grogu plush. But this one, guys, has poseable arms. It does have movable shoulder joints, and it still has the beanbag bottom, but when I'm done putting the new doll together and I show you them next to each other, you're going to see a huge difference in the bodies. Now I know this one does not have feeties, but that's okay. Some people actually prefer the beanbag body, but if you do want to add feet to your little guy or girl, she does sell the poles, stumps, and feetsy pants in her Etsy shop, and I think the feetsy pants would be awesome with these, because they're the ones that are just the little underwear that slide on, and then the feet are attached at the bottom. So there's no legs that are attached to it, just the feet. But it's up to you. She does also do full bodies, and there's a lot of cool stuff on her Etsy shop if you've never checked it out. Shana is actually one of the first to make the bodies for the Grogus, and she's evolved a lot over the last couple years, and she's added things, and she's kind of redone things. So yeah, I can't wait to see what she comes up with for the new 3.0 when that comes out. And if you missed my video on that, guys, right there, so excited for that one. But yeah, that will give all of the Grogu artists something new to work with, so can't wait to see what everyone comes up with. But back to this body here, I actually have Killian with me. If you don't remember who Killian is, or if you haven't seen who Killian is, he was a Grogu that I rescued. He was like $10. He's got that little blue mark above his eye, and he has some imperfections in his eye, and yeah, he's a little sweet green bean. I love him so much. So we're going to actually give him the new body. You ready for that, Killian? Yeah, alright, let's do it. So the first thing we have to do on Killian is remove his robe. I've done this on several other videos, but their robes are just attached by one little piece of thread here in the back. So you're just going to take a pair of scissors into there and snip that off, and then his robe is completely unattached, and you can slide it off of his body. And the robe comes off these guys pretty easy. When it comes to their little beanie bottoms, you do have to kind of work it and push it down a little bit, but once you have it off, there is Killian in his original green bean body. And here is the new body that we're going to put onto him. So next thing you have to do is, of course, remove the head and hands. On the bodies, the head is held on by a zip tie, as are the hands. You need a really good pair of scissors. I know I always get yelled at for that. Or something small that you can get in there and clip those off with. But what I usually do, since I use the scissors, is I grab the head and kind of snip that off. But the hands for me are the hardest part, because you got to get it in there just right. These aren't really small pointed scissors, So unfortunately, just be very, very careful with them, guys. There we go. We got that one off there. Just do not cut yourself. Don't do what I'm doing it towards the camera. Actually watch what you're doing as you're doing it. But once that's off there, you can just slide the zip tie out, just like that. And then the hand comes right off. Now don't forget which hand's which, guys. This is his right hand, so I'm gonna put it on the right side of my table. And we're gonna get the other hand off, but first I'll show you getting the head off. Same thing, you just gotta go in there with the scissors or with your cutting tool. And again, be very, very careful not to slip and cut your hand. And then once you have that back part cut, his head pretty much comes right off, guys. So you've got the original beanbag body. Since I'm not restuffing this body, I am going to put that aside after I get the other hand off, and definitely keep that for future use. So I've got both hands, and I've got right one, left one. So I'm putting one on the right side of the table, one on the left side of the table, and then I've got Killian's head. Now, inside the heads of the Mattel the Child, they have this white disc. You can leave that in there unless you want to take it out and glue a magnet inside so he has a pacifier. A lot of people like to do that. Same with the hands, they have the little white discs. You'll need a drill bit if you want to get those out and put magnets in the hand. But we're not doing any magnets on this one. We're just going to put little Killian on his new body. One nice thing about the Lil Green bodies, she actually puts the stuffing in for you. It's got the little beanie bottom, and she includes the zip ties. The only thing I've noticed with the zip ties for the heads on these, I'm not sure if that's standard with all of her dolls, it's actually not quite big enough. So I have my own supply of zip ties from when I do the Grogu dolls, so I'm going to take that one out. See, it's a little bit shorter than I would like for the doll. I like to have a little bit of play. And this one's actually a little bit longer, a little bit thinner, and I think these are a lot easier to work with. I get mine on eBay, but you need one that's definitely longer than 12 inches. I think these are 14 or 16 inches long, and you of course need them super, super thin, but they just slide right around in the head. It's the same thing if you're doing it and you mess up. It's always good to have extra zip ties on hand in case you make a mistake. And there, that zip ties all the way through, so you can see there's a little bit left over on it. I just think it's easier to work with when it's not the exact size that you need and that you have a little bit of extra space that you just cut off at the end. But we're gonna start by putting on his hands. On the hands, they come with these little pegs that have a channel in them. So you're just gonna put his hand into his arm, and you want the zip tie, which are already pre-started on these, to sit in that channel. Now you don't want to pull it too tight at first, just because you want to make sure that it's in the channel there. So once you're sure the zip tie's in there really good, you can go ahead and pull it as tight as you want to. I like to leave a little bit of play in mine so that the hands move. But with this body material, which is like a cotton material, the hands slide around pretty well anyway. But there is his first hand on there. Now let's get his left hand on there. Same thing. You're going to put the hand into the arm and make sure the zip tie's in that channel. This one was also pre-started, but making sure it's in the channel before you pull it all the way tight. But hey, you know, even I've made mistakes like that where I was like, oh, it's in the channel, and then oops, it's not. So that's another good reason to have some extra zip ties on hand, especially if you do a lot of these. But yeah, he's in the channel really good there. So pulling it tighter, he can still move his hand. So baby's got hands now. I love it. Now let's put Killian's head on. So the head, guys, of course you're going to want to be just as careful with that. There's a lot of stuffing in this doll. That's part of the good part of this doll, is that it has some extra stuffing to make it stand extra tall. I'm going to pre-start the zip tie on this one since I took the old one out, just so we have a head start on that. Yeah, he's got lots and lots of stuffing. So same thing, the head has the little channel on it, so that is where the zip tie is going to go. And then I usually I pull it a little tight, not completely tight, so that it doesn't sit in the channel, but you got to get that channel. The head's a little bit harder than the hands, guys. Especially you want to make sure you're definitely in that channel before you pull it too tight. So making sure that zip ties all up in there. That looks pretty good. And then you can just pull the zip tie tight. And his head still turns. And he looks super adorable, guys. What do you think? Yes. And he has arms that they're kind of poseable. They're movable arms, not fully poseable. You can't bend them and have them stay. But you can move them up and down. They're not just all flopping around anymore. But Mr. Killian, now the last thing you can do is I usually just take a pair of scissors, or you can take fingernail clippers and clip those zip ties off so that you don't have these large pokey things. If you have sharp edges, you can also take a fingernail file and kind of file them down a little bit so they're not as rough. So let's get you all fixed up, dude. And there he is, guys. How super adorable. They're not as floppy as the original beanbag bodies. This is just, it's more of a poseable one. And yeah, he just stands super straight and he looks super awesome. Last thing we gotta do is put his robe back on so I can show you that that still fits him as well. The robe is back on him. I will say the robe is a lot harder to get on this body than it was to get on and off of the original body. When you're putting it on, my biggest tip is do it from the bottom up and make sure that his arms aren't sticking up. Make sure that they are down to his sides. And then you're going to want to kind of pull the neck up and squish him until you get it up there. And then you'll be able to slide the arms in there pretty easy. But yeah, we had a little bit of struggle getting the robe on. But yeah, it's on now and it looks totally fabulous on him, doesn't it, guys? And of course, I said I wanted to show you the difference between the new body and the old beanie body. So yeah, you can see a huge difference, guys. This is Ralph. Ralph is another one of my rescues. Do you know why I named him Ralph? But this is the original body. This is the new beanbag replacement body. He stands a lot straighter. His robe actually fits him a lot better. And yeah, he's got the arms that are poseable. He's like, hello, hello, hello. Or you can make him do the force with it. So, definitely a big difference in the bodies. Ralph, you're not getting a new body because I like you the way you are. You're my little special Ralphie boy. But Killian looks awesome in his new body and his old robe with his poseable arms. So guys, if you like this body, they are available on her Etsy shop. I will put the link in the description of the video for you. The body itself is only $25 and it is sold as the body only. She will do it with the head and hands for you, but you have to message her for the price for that. And Killian, I just noticed another little issue on you. You've got an ear that's kind of scratched up. Boy, I really hit the jackpot with this guy. I love the ones that are all damaged, and they're special and they need homes. They all need homes. Every single Grogu needs a home. But anyway, back to her shop. As I said, she does do just the bodies, $25 for those. You can add the stumps or the feetsy pants. The feetsy pants, I think, run around $20 without the feet, $40 if you want the feet included, which is about standard price. The feet go usually for about $12 to $15 if you buy them separately. So, not bad. Love it. Can't wait to show you guys the other body that she sent me, but you'll have to wait for a separate video for that. But in the meantime, guys, thank you so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed it, please make sure to give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more awesome and totally rad things or more DIYs in the future, please subscribe to our channel and turn that notification bell on so you don't miss seeing us. And I guess there's only one thing left to say, right, Killian? We'll see ya later.